Oh, hell yeah. Now we're rolling. For today's adventure, I decided to hop into the world of Bygone Dream Prophecy, which is the prologue version of Bygone Dreams. One thing that's pretty cool that I noticed about this is when starting it up is they even have a hardcore mode in this game, which is when you die, it deletes your whole entire save file. So if you ever wanted to just play along at any point, now's the perfect time to do it. This prologue is free. Turn on that hardcore mode and give it a shot. See if you can beat it too. So the game starts out with you like really badly injured or having a nightmare or something, and you're being healed by this like really beautiful like winged elf chick. And I guess you lost your memories, and eventually you'll get them back. And when you finally wake up with a new arm that she forged for you, it's like a talking arm.
It will be my honor.
You woke up, she started kind of like dissipating, her wings were disintegrating, and then this happened.
This vessel is perishing.
Sorry.
Don't talk. Save your strength.
Only by finding my
She'd
children.
go from a standing position to just falling out of the air like that. That was funny. So essentially, the world, of course, there's an evil that's getting ready to destroy it, and you have to find these guardians in order to save it. And of course, just like any other game, the first part is just, you know, figuring out the controls and kind of getting your bearings around the world. Oh. Oh. Whoa, 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 whoa. It's like Super Smash Brothers? What the fuck? Dude, it's Super Smash Brothers. Oh, hell yeah. Now we're rolling. It's not long after this until you find your first portal, which, you know, just acts as portals to each level. In this first portal, again, it's not long until you find your first weapon, which is a nature staff. Pretty cool stuff. And then you also get to find your very first enemy, which is a tree man guy thing. He's a little tree man. Yeah, this reminds me of the Circle of Doom. That's on my list of featured games, by the way. Fuck that game. After beating the little tree stick man, you find like a group of mushroom kids, I guess. You have to chase them down because apparently they know stuff, because of course they do. And then you find a couple new enemies. You find one that is a piranha plant that likes to spit like acid at you. Ow. And then another one you find is like a giant kind of ape-like looking creature. He's like a monkey. He's like a little gorilla ape. That, of course, not only is he just physically good at punching you and he can like shoot beams and stuff, but he can also put like a debuff on you to where you take more damage and it stays on you until you enter water to wash it off. Damage taken increase. Once you beat the big monkey, you do eventually get to the mushroom children, who basically tell you that they know where the guardian is that you're looking for, and they give you like a little stone to help you go, because he's in like a forest and the stone's supposed to help you get through the forest. And then not only that, but they also give you a bow which can shoot mana arrows, which I guess they mixed magic and archery, so it shoots like nature bolts or something. So I make it through the cave and I find a little pedestal that I need a key for. And it leads me into this giant area where there's a bunch of like looking gorilla flower head things, which I thought were going to be gorillas. But turns out only a couple of them were actually enemies, so wasn't that bad. I did get the key, and I had to fit the circle square into the triangle hole. And yeah, it unlocked the next part of the game. At this point in the game, it gives you a heads up that you're about to fight your first boss, which is pretty cool. It turns out to be one of the Guardians. He's like a really kind of old dude. And, I guess he's friends with
She
the
said a great
soul that's
calamity threatens
embedded
the
in your
dream.
arm.
I
But
promised I would
anyway,
find the
they
Guardians,
just kind of talk
unite
about
them
how
to
they need
defeat it
to
and
get all the
save
Guardians together to save the
Nature
dream.
whispers to me.
And he says that he's going to test
Get
you
help,
to see if you're
and
even
you
strong enough to
already
do that, or if you're just a little wuss. So you gotta fight him. The fight really wasn't all that bad. He just kind of stacks some debuffs on you and throws around some tornadoes. Dives into the ground and shoots some spikes at you every once in a while. Nothing really too bad. So I beat the old guy, the old Guardian, because of course I do. I am the one and only defender of Dream. Easy. After I beat him, they pretty much just say, you know, good job, good job. And then he puts me to sleep because the best way to save a dream is within the dream itself. And you also get an item called the Enchanting Dream Blossom, which basically levels up your character, which I thought was cool. And then you just kind of talk a little bit. You find out that the soul that's in your arm is like a powerful warrior from way back when. And then I continue on down the path to open a chest where I get these cool new weapon called the Sister Blades, which is a fire and ice sword. Basically just lets you dual wield. And then I entered a portal into the next part of the game, which is kind of like a wizard tower looking thing, where you fight these new enemies. And you also get the ability to scan enemies, which I scanned this one, and he's called a Rumble Warrior. And basically just like a bunch of items mixed together. Pretty cool. And then you also discover crafting in this area, but I didn't really have anything that I really cared to make, so I just kind of ignored it. And then I walked up some steps and found a new boss, or a new enemy, which is like a stone snake. You seem kind of tough because he hit me once and he hit me for like a little over 30 damage. It kind of threw me off a little bit. I had to take a time out. But eventually I did beat him. And I noticed when you beat these, they drop stones that you have to place on like little platforms to continue on in the little adventure. Couple more snake fights and a laser and a laser puzzle later. I ended up reaching a hallway with fireballs shooting through it. I had to navigate to find yet another snake to kill, to get an orb to bring back through the chamber, to an elevator to make it operate, which then lifted me into a little like mini arena where this giant stone elephant was. But man, he is a bad use of the security system because he cannot fight for anything. He's terrible. He's still stunned. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Somebody give him a CPR. That guy sucked. Woo! Stinky. But once you beat him, you do get the access to this really cool galaxy stairway, which I thought was neat. And then after getting out of the galaxy stairway, you do get to this little section where it's just big kill things and make puzzle room, which my game kind of froze twice. Once when I scanned an enemy, and then once my walking kind of stopped working, so I had to restart twice. I'm just gonna skip this whole entire room because it's just killing things and placing orbs down. Once you get done through all that, you do get into this room that kind of reminded me of Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories for a second. But it leads into the next Guardian slash boss, who is like this dude with a mustache who is supposed to be really kind and gentle, but he's just kind of like snapped and losing it, and he attacks you. He has a lot of funky attacks too. He's like these floating cams from like Azura's Wrath, and you can shoot water like fucking blastoids, and you can slide around like a Splatoon character. Jesus, dude, he was really funky, but of course, again, not to toot my own horn, but I am the defender of dreams, so I did beat him. The world started crumbling around him when I beat him, and he's kind of stubborn. He almost died, but I saved his life. And he never thanked me. He was still stubborn. But it did unlock access to a couple stores, which I didn't have the money for anyway. And that was pretty much the end of day one. Guess we'll just end her there for today. Day one successful. So day two started out easy enough. I entered the portal to the next area, and it took me to like a junkyard area where I met a robot named Daz pretty much right away, and he just kind of took a ride on my back for some reason. And of course, being in a junkyard, your enemies you're gonna meet are a bunch of like little robots, you know, different sizes, wearing cowboy hats and stuff. And you also get a magic gauntlet here, which is pretty cool. It shoots fireballs. Not long after this, you're tasked with taking down 2 generators to open a door. The first one was pretty easy, it was just kind of out in the open. But the second one, it took a little while to get to. Wow, that guy hurts. Holy, and that's just a regular Joe Schmo. And you even had to pass like a minefield of like crushers on the way. But eventually, once you get it done, the door opens and you're introduced to like a little village with a bunch of vendors that are a bunch of friendly robots, and they sell like weapons and pets and upgrades and stuff. I did buy a giant cannon which I got to shoot, which shot like a big ball of electricity, and I got a pet robot, which is interesting just because I want to see what he looked like. And I even upgraded my mask, so I can add a slot to upgrade to add some effect items to it, which I had a feather. Increase my chances of a critical strike. And then after all that was said and done, I was tasked with finding 3 different pieces of robot to build a big giant robot to help me continue on to find the Guardian in this area. It was here at this point when I just kind of ran around this village for the next several minutes. I couldn't really find anything until I spotted the purple light. And what I found in there, I don't ever want to think about it ever again.
Somewhere around here.
Oh boy, I guess if there's ever a place for me to die, it's probably gonna be right here. I fucking told you, dude. And just like that, 1, 2, 3, platforming has killed me. All that blood, sweat, and tears, those fights, everything, all that hard work, and all the power invested in me with my hand of the warrior spirit was not enough for conveyor belts. So, as we know it, all dreams are now non-existent. Everything is a fucking nightmare for all eternity. And life as you know it is over. Sorry.